If you're checking out this video, chances are you're familiar with the ubiquitous Hitachi Magic Wand Massager. Now this is a knockoff that I got off of eBay for just shy of 20 bucks shipped. Came from China, took about 3 weeks to get here. And at first glance, it looks very similar. It's got these 2 buttons on the front. The one is for power, and the other one lets you cycle through various speeds and patterns of vibration. On the back, it's got an FCC and CE label, presumably fake. And on the bottom, there's a coaxial connector that lets you charge it via USB. There's an adapter cable that came with it. For this video, I'm going to take this apart and show what's inside, show what makes it go. Personally, I own an original magic wand, and I was very curious to see how the two compared. If you're curious to see what the original looks like inside, I've linked to somebody else's teardown video in the description. The first step in disassembling was the easiest, since the padded cover slid right off. The cover itself is made of what feels like rubber or perhaps silicone, definitely not PVC, and inside is some foam padding which is wrapped up in a plastic bag. Underneath the cover is a plastic capsule which I was really curious to see inside because it yields a fairly beefy vibration, definitely respectable though not quite as strong as the original magic wand. As with the original though, the head is stiff and springy, which lets you apply even pressure to wherever it's needed. The whole head is held together by 6 screws that came out in a snap. Inside the head is not much more than just a DC motor with an imbalanced weight attached to the shaft. I thought this was kind of a shame because the whole purpose of the magic wand design I thought was to have a big motor in the handle and then room in the head for a nice beefy weight that it can swing around. Taking the handle off is simple enough, just remove the 2 screws and pop off the silvery plastic ring. Most of the rest of the screws in the handle were easy enough to find, but I had trouble getting it apart until I found another screw hidden underneath the label. Once that screw is out, the case comes right apart. Inside, there's not much to see. Instead of a big-ass motor that you would have in the normal magic wand, all we have is a tiny single-layer circuit board and a single lithium battery cell. What's a bit troubling is that the battery cell, the controller board, and the pins to the charging port are all wired up in parallel. So it appears that there's no charging control circuitry or protection for that lithium battery, which in the best case means it's not going to live very long and worst case might explode in between someone's legs. Holy shit. Anyway, unscrewing and turning over the PCB reveals pretty much what you'd expect. There are a couple switches, a little microcontroller, and some circuitry to drive the motor. Beyond that, there's not much on here, but I'm kind of curious what this little unpopulated pad was for. It looks like a switch goes there, but there's nothing in there. To sum it all up, I think it's pretty safe to say this magic wand vibrator doesn't have very much in common with the original. Superficially, they're very close, but under the hood, both designs are vastly different. If you're looking to get your rocks off on the cheap, this might be an option. Personally, the battery is a bit too sketchy for my taste, and I'll be keeping the original around for a good while longer. Thanks for watching.